Hello peoples! So I'm kind of in a different spot than usual. Hello peoples! Okay, so today, as you can see, my hair is like a child. So I've been having like a really hard time these past couple of months in the quarantine and everything that's been going on. As someone who's battled a lot of mental health issues, it's been tough. But I would like to say that the reason I brought up my hair is because when I was a kid, I used to always have my hair like this, like in bollies and have these stuff in my hair. And so I thought that I would make my hair like this again to remind myself to smile and play and have fun. So that's what I did. I'm not gonna like walk you through it with a hair tutorial. All I did was, it was my mom. She parted my hair and braided it, and then I put these at the end. And I have 8 braids. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about my mental health because it's just like me talking because I can. So ha. I would say that I'm just gonna have this video recording and see where this goes. As a lot of coping mechanisms, that's what I'll talk about. I'll talk about my coping mechanisms. So, some of my coping mechanisms or coping skills that I've been using for my mental health is a lot of art and a lot of music. So I actually had a doctor's appointment today, and it kind of put me in this weird mindset because I don't know, I don't have the best news with doctors. I mean, it wasn't a bad doctor's appointment. It was just like I talked about some troubling things that have been on my mind, and saying it out loud is a lot different than just thinking and being by yourself all day. Like, I tend to isolate myself a lot just because it's a lot of work to talk to people. Like, you can have the best intentions, I can love you to death, but it's hard when you don't feel like talking. Like, it's hard. So I had to talk about like what I've been going through and say it out loud, and that's a lot different. So it kind of put me in this weird mindset of like, I haven't said that stuff out loud in a while. It's a little problematic. So just addressing that was interesting to go through. So I went outside, I sat in the sun. As you can see, I'm in the sunlight right now because it has good lighting. And I think it's cool to just like recenter yourself sometimes, and that's kind of what I tried to do, or that's what I'm gonna try to be doing these next couple of days. Just like really get back into art and music and centering myself, because what happened was I went on like a week span where I was just like, I'm gonna be lazy. Like, I'm not gonna do anything because I don't feel like it. So I just kind of laid in bed all week and like didn't do much. And there's nothing wrong with that, but after a while it just becomes kind of disheartening because you feel like what's the point to some stuff? You just don't really get it. Like, it doesn't seem like there's a point to anything. So this week I'm challenging myself to, you know, get out of my head and try to write it down or put stuff on paper or something. And I know that here's something else. So one of the things that I really struggled with my eating disorder was I personally overexercised, like a lot. And but I was also an athlete. Like, I did boxing, I ran track, and it took a lot in me to just be like, oh, these girls are smaller than me and they're in varsity, so maybe if I just get a little smaller, I can run faster. It's bad logic, but it's fine. But I was an athlete, and so I was always exercising and doing all this stuff as if I was training, even if I wasn't training for anything. So I remember when I first went into treatment, I just stopped exercising. They were like, yeah, we're putting you on exercise restriction. And I like cried because that same day I was supposed to be exercising. Oh, I just spit. I was supposed supposed to be exercising with Olympic people who had trained like for the Olympics and had been in professional fights, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be able to train with them, whoop-de-doo. And then my first day of treatment, they were like, yeah, we're putting you on exercise restriction, this is not healthy. And I was like, how rude. And so I said all that to say that I have an unhealthy relationship, or we have a on and off relationship with exercise. So what I did this week, full circle moment, this week, today's Tuesday, so yesterday was my first day in a while working out. It was at home, but still, like a consistent, like full workout, and trying not to push myself too hard. So I used to work out for like hours on end, and then multiple times a day, because I was like, no, this is normal, it's fine. And nobody was stopping me, so I was like, it's fine. But then I started matching the over-exercise with not eating enough, and that's when there was a problem. So yesterday was my first day trying to do like a good workout, but still challenging myself to be like, okay, now you have to eat. But a problematic thing was, back in the beginning of my eating disorder, I used to be like, okay, well, I have to earn my right to eat, so I have to exercise this amount in order to eat this. And let me say, like, you don't need to earn your food. That's not what you need to do. You have the right to eat because it's your body and you need food to survive. Food is your fuel. And that's hard to hear, especially when, like, so a lot of people don't realize this, like, yes, food is the medicine of this disorder, but it's also like an everyday necessity. So when people are like, just eat and stuff like that, you're like, I'll fight you. But it's hard because I'm not centered. Oh, now the sun's gone. Hold on. I love the sun. But food is our medicine. And what people don't understand is, like, when they say just eat, it's like, okay, but food is also our problem. So when people are like, oh, just eat, it's like, that's the whole issue. That's not what it is. It's like, my brain does something different when I think about food, or I think about eating, or how much I have to eat, or how little I have to eat, and all that kind of stuff. Even with people with binge eating disorder, it's like, oh, just stop eating as much. It's like, if it was that easy, there wouldn't be all of these people being hospitalized for eating disorders. Maybe think about that before, wow, I look good. Maybe think about that before you start talking to people, because I remember in the beginning of my eating disorder, I tried talking to certain people about it, and they were just like, you don't look anorexic, you don't look like, you don't have the body type of someone who has an eating disorder, like, you'll be fine. And then it wasn't until I got like really bad at my eating disorder that people were like, yo, are you good? And I was like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, I tried talking to you before and it didn't really work out, so I stopped talking to people. As you can see, this video is just me talking to talk because I got a lot on my mind. My mind runs rampant fast. So that's what this video is, just me talking. But anyway, so that was something that was really hard for me this week, with trying to exercise a good amount. Like, I only worked out for about like 35 minutes, and that's very not a long time for me. But I did like high intensity, so like I think I did well, and I ate afterwards. Yeah, I ate afterwards, and I ate before, so I thought that was really good. I played some bomb music I played some great music while I was working out, so that was fun. I tried to turn it into like some fun little thing that I could do. I made a TikTok yesterday, because how can you not make TikToks when your hair is like this? Like, this is so much fun. But so yeah, there's that, and that's kind of how I'm feeling. It's just, and even today, right after that phone call from my doctor, I was like, nah. I was kind of in like a meh mood, because I was just like, wow. There's nothing, it's not like I need to be fixed or anything, but I got some mental issues, okay? And it kind of just feels like sometimes that I bother people with my mental issues. Like, it just, when people are just like, oh, you're not a burden, but it definitely feels like some people in my life out of pity, like, oh, well, I'll just stay her friend because I don't want her to like go off the rails. And I'm like, okay, thanks, I guess, but I would hate for someone to jeopardize their mental health because I'm going through something. Because a lot of people don't think about that either, how people have mental health issues. We know this. But some people don't think about how much it affects other people as well. And I know I didn't. Like, I was in my mental health issues, going through it, and I was like, okay, ugh. And I never really thought about like how it affected the other people in my life who actually cared about me, because in my mind it's like, okay, nobody truly cares about me, and it's still taking me some time to really figure out like, no, people care about you. Like, it's not just you in your head all the time. You have to think about these things, and that can even make some people's mental health even worse. They're like, oh my gosh, like these people actually do care about me, but I'm going through all of this and I don't want their mental health to get bad because they're always worrying about me. Like, I definitely have some friends who have been in my life, and I feel like I've tainted is such a weird word, but I feel like I've tainted the way they kind of see the world not the world, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I've definitely impacted them to be like, yo, like, she's gonna messed up, and then puts them in like a panic of being like, oh, like the next time she calls, like, is she okay? Like, I've definitely done that where I've texted my friend like, hey, and it's like at a weird hour, and they're just like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm just saying hi. And I hate that I panicked people that much to be like, oh, something must be wrong if she's saying hi to me. And I'm like, wow, that's tough. But yeah, I don't want this video to get too long. This is kind of just me rambling about how I'm feeling and some of my experiences. I'll probably have more videos like this, but I really just wanted to say, don't forget to smile, don't forget to play, don't forget to just look at some of the happy stuff in life. Even if you're depressed or you're going through the worst times, just take a moment to let yourself be happy. Because I know I held myself down to be like, oh, well, I don't deserve to be happy, or I don't need to be happy right now. Like, I just want to be stuck in my depression because it's easier to stay there. But I think at least for a day, just be like, even if you have to fake it, even if you have to fake being the happiest person ever, but just give yourself that acceptance to be like, no, like, I'm good. It's gonna be okay. So, with that being said, I need to find a way to like end these videos, like a little outro or something, but have a top-notch week, guys, and challenge your mental health. Like, if you're having a bad mental health week, I want you to fight it. You know? I just had to say that. Okay, bye guys.